Welcome to the Iconic Production Channel. On Monday night, you may notice that there is no Becca, and there are none of the other normal players that we have here, except for Lee. But Lee, let me be honest, none of us are normal players. We're exceptional players. That goes to all of the people on Monday night too. That was not meant as a slight for the Call of Cthulhu game. Your delight, and I enjoy watching you. But I'm here tonight running something new to the Iconic Production Channel. We are running a game called Wrath and Glory. It is a Warhammer 40,000 role-playing game produced by the fine folks over at Cubicle 7 Games. They make such great role-playing games as Wrath and Glory, Warhammer fantasy RPG, and the Soulbound, the Warhammer Soulbound RPG as well. So tonight we are going to be playing through Wrath and Glory, which is again the Warhammer 40,000. And so I figure there's only one way to start off a Warhammer 40,000 RPG, which is in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. There is only war. And before we get into this, let's meet our cast of players and characters. Now, let me just set the scene for everyone. You are all on the Imperial prison planet, Nexum 8. Nexum 8 is known for being a harsh and desolate world. The pit is where prisoners are kept. Navigators find it very difficult to get to, even with the light of the God Emperor. They abhor the system. It's not the looming supernova. It's the fact that whenever they enter this sector of space, they hear things whispering to them from the warp. It's almost as if this sector sits a little bit closer to the warp, to the Eye of Chaos, to that ever-present place where chaos and the four great chaos gods seek to reach out and grasp the known worlds of the Imperium in their, well, let's just be honest, too many limbed and too many clawed-fingered hands. Now, what's interesting about Nexum, and what we're going to go with, is that because it is one of the places in the Imperium where ceramite is mined, ceramite being the main material used in the Astartes armor, the Space Marines, the God Emperor's Angels armor, they're a little bit not too watchful over who's doing the mining, right? People get captured. Sometimes inquisitorial retinues go bad. Inquisitors are known for allowing all sorts of xenos and heresies among them, which is why we have a colorful cast of characters tonight and some delightful alliteration by your GM. So we're going to start off with introducing the players, the characters, and give me a vague, definitely Iconic Production Channel appropriate, what is the crime, or what brought you to this prison? Why are you in the pit? And we're going to start off with Phantom. Phantom, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us what you're playing.
Oh, hey, well, my name's Ignatius Kelvin, and I'm a psyker, and I've got a minimum safe distance. Sometimes commissars don't keep to the minimum safe distance.
And when their heads explode, that's really on them, not on you, but that's not necessarily how the Imperial Officer Corps saw it.
Oh, well, it's not that their head exploded so much as they just went up in flames.
That is, good to know. Rook.
Hello, everybody. I'm Malorky. You all came here because you did something wrong. I kind of grew here, kind of made a living, and let me keep to one cell. And the crimes came after my complete germination, and let's just say there's a lot of people that may be missing eyeballs, and let's just say that I'm absolutely rolling in tappy orca pudding.
Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the 40k universe, orcs are... To say orcs are an infestation is probably spot on. When you kill an orc, they release spores. Or when you walk through orc territories, you may pick up spores. Or, orcs may just spore all over the place. And one of those spores found its way on the boot of a prisoner across the galaxy to Nexum 8. And that spore grew up to our very own Malorki. Lee, who normally plays in the Monday Night Call of Cthulhu game, and you may recognize from the Fading Suns game. Lee, who are you playing tonight? You're muted.
I was muted, yes. I'm playing a character whose name I still can't pick. So I've been calling my character Calliope. However, because the professor once told me that Calliope in America is pronounced Kai and not Cal. So that's what I'm calling her. It's wrong. But she is a space elf, basically. I full disclosure, I know absolutely nothing about
Welcome to
Warhammer
40k. You're our point of view character.
Yeah, so if you were sitting there watching going, I've never touched this or anything, me either. I know nothing, which is why I don't even know what the correct race name is. I think it's
Eldar. You are an Eldar.
Eldari.
Yep.
And she is a warlock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing great. And I believe since she has the smite psychic power, she's a little weird, and so she gets offended quite easily, especially when people make fun of her. And so she may have just outright murdered some people as a young child and is in this prison for life because she just decided that, the boy at the schoolyard picking on her was inappropriate and just needed to die. And she just pretty much just kind of goes through life monotoned and kind of weird. That's who I'm playing.
I love that each of your characters is wildly different from the last one that you have played in an iconic game. And rounding us out is Mark, who you will know from if you're a patron of the Iconic Production Patreon at a high enough tier. Mark is the one who runs our Patreon Dark Eye game. He is one of the voices you may recognize from the Iconic podcast and plays in our Torg's Day Night game, plays both Archibald and Anton, and the next character, which will probably also start with an A.
K.
Okay?
K. I can drop it. It can be known as Ano.
That's right.
Kano.
Kano. Yeah. Okay. Who are you playing tonight?
I am playing Octavian, Blood Angel Space Marine Scout. No need to know the others' names because they are all just Xeno scum.
Except for Ignatius.
Oh,
but he's a
I don't-
psyker.
Yeah, but he's a psyker, so I guess if I stay my 2 meters away and keep the scum away from him. His crime is only known to the Blood Angels, but he is serving his penance as a good Astartes.
All right. Now, let's get into this quick overview of the system mechanics, and we will jump right in. It is a D6 die pool system, so the easiest thing to know is that you're just going to need to roll a bunch of D6s. You're looking for 4s or higher. In most cases, it's going to be an attribute plus a skill will give you the total dice that you need to roll. On your character sheet, you'll see under skills, it does all of the addition for you. Thank you, Phantom. Also, thank you for making Lee and Ulthway, because as we all know, that is the greatest craft world of all time, because I played it for 7 years and I just adore their color scheme. So, one of your dice needs to be a different color, because that'll be your wrath die. It works basically like a normal die. 4, 5, or 6 generates icons, which you apply icons towards successes. But on a 1, independent of success or failure, something complicates the scene. You could succeed and roll a 1 on your wrath die, and we would describe what craziness, what complication arises in the scene. If you roll a 6, something good happens, independent of whether you succeeded or failed, except in combat. If you roll a 6 on your Wrath die in combat, you have generated a critical success, but you also need to hit. I will let you know what happens when you roll a 6, because there's some additional effects, but for right now, that's all you need to know. 4s and 5s generate 1 icon, 6s generate 2. So you're going to compare that to the target number, which is generally going to be you need 3. If you have any 6s left over after you've met the target, well, you can start shifting them for effect. You can move them over to make things happen faster, make things happen better, or you can shift 1 6 into the glory pool. The game is called Wrath and Glory. Your 2 meta currencies are Wrath and Glory. So Wrath is personal. It's just, you getting angry about stuff because it's the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. What Wrath does for you is you are able to spend a point of Wrath, and you all start with 2 points of Wrath to begin with. You can spend a point of Wrath to add a narrative element to the scene. Be like, yeah, no, the guy who runs Cell Block C is definitely my Sporekin. I don't know if that's the correct term, but for tonight we're going to call them Sporekin. You can spend it to recover shock. Shock is sort of this, if you're familiar with Torg, it kind of is the same thing. If your shock hits 0, you get exhausted and pass out. You can recover 5 shock with a single Wrath point, or you can re-roll all of the dice that did not come up a success on a die pool. So it's really great in the heat of the moment. If you need to succeed, you can spend a point of Wrath. Now I'm dancing with Rook. If you roll a 6 on your die, or shift one of those 6s over, you can put a point in the glory pool. Mark and I will be keeping track of the glory pool for everybody. It is a group pool. You are glorious together, you are wrathful alone. Glory can be used to, let me add my notes. You can add a die to a die pool, and you can add that die after you roll. You can add damage, or you can improve a critical effect. So, that's really all we need to know to start. So, welcome to Nexum 8, or more specifically, the pit, the deep mines. No one really cares if prisoners escape, because the surface of the planet, while breathable, is filled with not a whole lot and is routinely scraped clean by the hurricane force winds, which sends the detritus of the planet racing in abrasive storms that will strip anything but an Astartes in full power armor down to the bone in a matter of minutes. So you guys have been here long enough that you know there's always 1 or 2 who come up with an escape plan. Some of them make it back. You're guessing most of them just sit around and get scoured to death. JD has also informed me we've got some giveaways tonight. We've achieved our first one. JD has informed me she will be letting the chat know who won. We're going to do a random giveaway. We're giving away a copy of the Wrath and Glory GM screen. So there you go. Congratulations. JD will let me know who the winner is. We'll announce it here in a bit. But you all are in the same cell block. You are vaguely aware of everyone else in the block. You work in shifts. Shifts are not great, mainly because this is a penal colony that puts you to work in order to, pull ceramite, one of the hardest substances in the galaxy, out of the rock. Now, you all remember that speech that Brucephalus, the Ogren, gave you your first day. There's 2 shifts. One's 15 hours, one's 6. Longer ones for working, shorter ones for sleeping. Avoid the gangs. They'll get you killed as soon as look at you. Rise and run to the robing bays quick. Dobblers get the leaky suits and die soonest of lung rot. Eat everything they give you, 'cause they won't give you much. There's only one escape. Death. Don't give yourself any hope. We don't do hope here. And that's been your existence for the last couple of months, all of your life, since that childhood rage incident, since that time that you immolated a commissar. Now, for those of you who don't know what a commissar is, I do feel the need to sort of take a step away and explain this. Commissars, so the Imperial Guard is the fighting hammer of the Imperium, whereas the Space Marines are sort of the surgical special forces of the Imperium. Commissars are those people who, they're part of your squad, and if your commander doesn't follow orders, they're the guys who put a bullet or a lasbolt in your commander and assume command until the next lieutenant gets promoted. They're sort of the built-in loyalty check and balance. I don't really know that it's a check and balance, but if you play the Imperial Guard in the miniature game, you always have commissars because they allow you to reroll morale checks. So, you guys are coming off of the 15-hour shift. Suits have been sent back to be reclamated. Meals have been set out. As you go through the line, you definitely see Malorky is spooning tapioca pudding. Octavian, yours definitely has someone's eye in it. It's a little bit of extra protein. It means the cook likes you. And that's when it happens. The first sign of trouble is the massive rumbling that descends through the 32 layers of the pit. This is where you're at. You're 32 floors down. There's a massive shaking. Concrete, ferrocrete comes falling from the ceiling. Everything goes this shade of orange as the emergency klaxons come on. And you hear, enemy forces detected in orbit. Landers landing. All prisoners back to your cells. Repeat, all prisoners back to your... And chaos erupts. Small c chaos. As prisoners start attacking guards, a riot starts. And the four of you find yourselves in a little knot. You've all sort of know each other. Mark, for your character, Octavian, this is about 70% human. And when I say human, I mean like Imperial human. The other 30% are mainly Ogrins and Ratlings, some mutants, a couple of tech priests, and then a minority of Xenos who were just like, hey, they have arms and legs, and they can take things out of rock, so let's throw them in the pit. And that's where we're going to start. You can see a group of guards have moved in. Now these are prison guards on an Imperial prison planet. Lee, I know you are new to 40k, so imagine the most despotic, totalitarian government ever devised by humankind, and the universe that makes it humanity's only hope. That's the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. So, guards are coming in and they don't seem to care. People are not listening, they are firing live rounds into the crowd. What are you guys doing?
They want us to go back to our cells?
They say they want you to go back to your cells, but what also seems to be happening is, to your eyes there, Octavian, is some of the guards are using this opportunity to settle some scores.
On humans or Xenos?
Oh, definitely humans. The only two Xenos in the whole block are these two.
Hey!
Malorky and Calliope.
I can tell you what Malorky's gonna do.
Go for it, Malorky. We'll go with Malorky
Okay.
and then Ignatius, and then we'll see what everyone else is doing. What are you doing, Malorky?
Malorky doesn't like that they're just shooting willy-nilly. They're wasting bullets.
Yeah, like
So-
Willie and Nilly just went down.
Yeah, Willie and Nilly, they both just got shot.
They're both
the
dead.
only ones I knew their names. Everybody else is switching. So, I don't like it when they kills them. So,
For perfect
tit for
good
tat.
eyes.
I'm gonna take a chair and apply it with liberal enthusiasm.
To the back of one of these guards.
Back, front, I don't care.
All right, go ahead and give me a weapons skill roll. You'll find weapons skill at the bottom of your skill list. How many points do you have, or what's your total in weapons skill there, Malorky?
7. So, that is 1 success.
Just so one icon. Do you want to spend a point of wrath?
Yeah, why not?
All right, you get to re-roll all of your unused, or all of the dice that did not come up with a success or with an icon.
Ah, glorious. 2 more successes and a 1 on the wrath die.
So you got a total of 3. So you hit this guy in the back with the chair. What is your strength attribute?
4.
All right, roll 1 die and tell me what you get. So when you roll bonus dice for damage, extra damage, it works just like everything else. 4 is 1 extra point of damage, 5 is 1 extra point of damage, 6s are 2.
That's a 3. So,
Doesn't count. All right, so we just got the 4 plus the 2 for a chair. You take the chair, and one of the guards gets knocked flat. You can see, both you and Octavian can clearly see hiding under the table. There are the 2 guards. There are 2. They've said they're former guardsmen. They work with you guys. They are one of the few people in the cell block that have a prison collar, and that means at any moment, if the warden hits the button, their heads go pop. You know them as Felix and Nigel. You see Nigel goes, "That's right! Take that!" Ignatius, what are you doing?
What I forgot my. Oh man, I lost my voice.
oh, how's it going, Derry?
Oh yeah, thank you. There we go. So, like whatever.
You can put a point in the
happened-
glory pool for that. That was awesome.
So like whatever happens when things go sideways, I'm going to charge into the middle of something, and then I'm just going to go, light myself on fire, and
That's why
I
there's a
got a
standoff
dice.
range.
That's right. You gotta be
well,
within.
you know, I've got a battle cry for this. So, who wants a hot dish?
Go ahead and give me your psychic mastery roll, and let me ask you a question. How are you? So there are 3 ways that you can use a psychic ability. Right? You can use it. Let me pull up my notes here.
It's just baseline. I'm not gonna throw.
You're not going to try and up it? Okay.
No.
So for both Kirk and Lee, just so you know, when you activate a psychic ability, you can act it bounded, which you get no extra bonus dice, but you're in control of your powers. You can unbound it and get an extra wrath die, but then every psychic power you use for the rest of the scene has to be unbound. You basically are letting a ton of psychic energy pour through you. Or you can go transcendent, and you can add a ton of extra dice. But every time you roll those extra dice, they're wrath dice, and there's a chance that you might get something what is called Perils of the Warp, which is where something in the warp goes, oh, look, there she is. So what did you get, Ignatius?
Oh well, I have a 2. I've got an exalted icon on the wrath die, and another 4 icons. So my fiery form goes off.
How many did you need for your fiery form to go off?
Total is 6.
All right, so that's what you got?
Yep.
All right. Now, what's the additional, like, what's something beneficial that happens because of the rat? I have a couple of ideas, but I'm always going to push it to you guys first. What's the what's this boon that comes out of you activating this psychic power?
Well, there's a problem with mining. Can't keep the voice right. Thank you very much, Malorky. So, mines have gas.
They do.
Even if it's just a trace kind of amount,
Mm-hmm.
this is the kind that will basically do a flash burn.
Okay. So, as you guys see Ignatius light himself on fire, assume this fiery form, and these tendrils of gas ignite. And so, don't forget, anytime you roll a 6 on the wrath die, you get a point of wrath. And, nope, sorry, a 6 on the wrath die gives you a point of glory. That's what I meant.
Oh, we'll throw that glory in the pool.
And as these tendrils flare
Does it
out,
give us a point, or we can turn it into?
it automatically becomes
Okay.
a point. The internal fire suppression goes off. Now this has made the whole thing rainy. There's some other gas that's sort of filling in, but the first deluge is water. And you all know that at least on this level, if a fire breaks out in the mess, the doors to the cells open up so that people can kind of flee. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to mispronounce this. So, Dine Airborne, congratulations on winning our Wrath and Glory GM screen. JD, our producer, will be in touch to figure out how we can get this to you.
Any guards left?
Great job, Eric.
There are some guards left. So, but before we go into that, I need a conviction roll. So conviction will be on the left-hand side of your character sheet, Lee, about middle of the way down under traits. I need a conviction roll from Lee and from Kirk. So Ignatius and Calliope, I need you to give me a conviction roll.
How many of these die am I
What is your
rolling?
conviction stat?
It says 4.
You will roll 4 dice.
Okay.
One of them
There's
will
no
be a
wrath
wrath
on these,
die.
right?
Yep,
There is a wrath.
there is a wrath die.
Okay.
Okay. Does that mean I need the one that's the different color?
You do, and that is not an extra die. It just replaces one of the dice in the pool.
Okay. Then I declare the dark eye die I'm using as the different one because they're all different colors. So
If
if I
you're
get
gonna
a
declare
whale.
it, you gotta declare it. Bankruptcy!
Oh, it freezes your assets. Okay, so ignore the squeaking. So if I rolled a 4 on that wrath die, does that mean that doesn't mean anything? 'Cause it's
Thank you.
not a
So
6?
4, 5s, or 6s are successes. So
Oh. Okay, so if I got 2 4s and 2 3s,
you got 2 successes total.
okay.
Kirk, what did you get?
2 successes.
All right. So both of you, as you guys are standing there, as this thing is breaking out, you both feel someone is reaching out through the warp. And you hear clearly in your heads, get to the surface. We're taking everyone who wants to go off of this bleeping rock. And you have a clear image of the person who is sending you this. They are in dark robes. It's kind of hard, like when I say a clear image, there's a mental image that comes through. You can see someone is looking over a basin of water and using that as the medium for their psychic projection. You can see that they have a set of rings that seem to be bound from the right under their nose up their cheek all the way into like the base of their skull. Something is clearly wrong with their left eye. It looks almost as if in your mind, instead of one pupil, they have almost two. And they, yeah, that's where we're gonna leave that off. So you have it, you know that there are, in right now, you get a mental image of troop carriers landing on the surface at the top of the pit. And then you also hear from underneath the table, right, I told you he could do that. All right, fine, when we get to the surface, I suppose I owe you money, Nigel.
Since there are multiple guardsmen laying waste to innocent civilians, innocent, I want to multi-attack.
Okay.
So I've got my tray and my spoon, so I'm just going to walk up and tray to the throat, spoon to the eye. If I'm real successful, I'll be able to add to
Malorky's.
Tapioca
This is
pudding.
why the two of you get along. All right, so anytime you take
So
a multi-action, you increase the target number by
by
2
2,
for
yeah.
each action you take above the first.
Yeah.
So you guys can take multiple actions if you want. You can like set yourself on fire and throw a fireball and make a witty statement.
It's kind of like,
Yep.
gotta eat the food.
Gotta eat the food. Remember what that guy told you. Always
Right.
eat what they give you.
So if the rat die is a 5, does it count as an icon?
Yeah, so
Okay.
4, 5, or 6 so the wrath die counts as an icon, as a normal die.
Yeah.
It's just got a special effect on 1 and 6.
Okay, I got 4 successes. I don't know what the target number is.
The target number to hit 2 of them is 5.
5. Then I will spend a wrath point and re-roll. And I got 2 more successes.
All right, so you got a total of
6.
6. All right.
But nothing special.
Nothing. All
I
right.
hit 'em.
So you guys see this. And so right, he's a Space Marine scout, but that still means he's bigger than the rest of you. Space Marines, Lee, again, as I said, are the God Emperor's angels. Yep.
I know. They're the cosplays.
Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah, exactly. They have a ton of. They have a gene seed that's implanted. The scouts are basically half-baked Space Marines, and if they survive long enough, they grow up to be, I won't say real boys, because there's a lot of lore around that, but they grow up to be full-blown Space Marines. And in his case, he will be subject to the bloodthirst. That's probably not a good thing. All right, but you see him take out the other 2 guards in the cell block, Kyope. One, he catches in the throat with a tray, and you hear a wet crunch, and the guy dies on the floor, choking, unable to breathe. The other one's still alive, but is out for the count, as Malorky, he pops the eye out with the spoon, and it goes sailing and lands right in the big vat of tapioca pudding. Hey, you, Eldar, can you get us out of here? There's the 2 of them sitting under the table.
They're asking her.
Yeah.
She'll look at them and then very much pointedly not respond to them and start walking over to Octavian. I almost wanted to say Octavius. Because he's the one who just like ripped that one guy open, right?
Yep.
Okay. She would like to say, excuse me, Hank. Hank's back.
My name's not Hank.
She will say, Hank, stop. She will, I would like to go with you now.
This Eldar walks up to you and says, also there's a dude on fire, but not like in the, we just hit them with promethium fire. He seems to be on fire yet not consumed. And Malorky, who, all things considered, is an okay guy.
It never stiffed me on my portion of
No,
food. So.
no.
I bend down and pick up with a las rifles, or what were the guards using?
The guards were all using las pistols.
Okay. I pick them up and tuck them into my prison pants. Pretty much all I got is prison pants.
Prison pants and business socks.
That's right.
That's the only thing that
Whatever.
Octavian is. Charge packs.
Sure,
Yep.
yeah.
Slap a charge pack in
Yeah.
there. Felix and I are like, hey! We know where they're keeping your stuff. We did the inventory when you came in. You get us out, we'll get you to your stuff.
Malarkey reaches down, brings Felix out and up to eye level because rocks get big.
Yeah, no, Felix's legs are kicking, like just barely doing the little scuff marks on the, Hey, Malarkey,
Speak.
I'll get you your stuff. Don't worry, Nigel. I told you, Malarkey's friendly. You see Nigel has, like, grabbed, like, a spoon that he has definitely sharpened into a spork.
Surprised he's not sitting there going.
Like you're thinking. Throws Felix to the side, reaches down, takes the spork that it's been made. This is mine now.
Yeah, no, I consider it a gift. Now, we're going to get out of here, right? There's another massive detonation somewhere up above, and a chunk of ferrocrete falls out of the ceiling and catches like 3 people, and there's just a smear as the ferrocrete hits and the bodies get splattered.
Kind of gesture to him. Let's go.
All right.
Fair enough. Come on,
And then he looks
Squishy
at-
and Splashy
looks at-
Squishy.
P,
What?
where do you want to go?
Are you talking to me?
Yep. Yes. Where you
came
wanted
up
to
and
go.
said, "I'm ready to go now." Like, where do you want to go?
Oh. We would like to travel up now, and you are competent. They, however, smell of fear.
Well, they know where the stuff is.
Yes.
Are they lying? I might think they're lying.
Malarkey, see, you got a good point.
Are
Grabs
you
Felix
lying?
again.
He yells at
Takes
Felix.
the fork, puts it right by his eye.
Give
Lying to me.
me an intimidation check there,
I
Malarkey.
get
While this is all
bonuses.
going on, Ignatius, you're on fire. What else do you want to do? Also, Lee, your warlock is creepy AF, and I adore her.
Being in all.
Well, Ignatius is just walking out for
Like
whatever,
this,
the doorway or whatever.
Okay. So you guys know that there is a main lift. Everyone in here seems to be headed towards it. The main lift is what typically takes you down further into the pit. The secondary lift, Ignatius and Octavian, the only time you've ever ridden on it is when you were brought down from the surface. I assume Calliope went on it, but not for years. Malarkey, you're vaguely aware that there's this other door that opens and new people come out. They have both of their eyes, which is how you can tell them apart from the people that have been here a while.
You know, it's okay. They'll learn. And I have a 1 success. And
One
it is on the
success?
wrath die. Yep.
And it is on the wrath die.
Yes.
All right, so what's the bonus that, do you want just like an additional piece of information?
To get-
or-
Just to make sure he's not actually lying.
No,
'cause-
they legitimately know where
No.
they're at. And here's the thing. These two guys, Calliope and Malarkey, you remember when Felix and Nigel were guards. They were actually like part of the system, and something happened, and then they showed up one day with these explosive collars around their necks.
Do we have explosive collars on our necks?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Too big.
Ignatius, you were saying you're walking out. So as you head out of the mess into, like, again, everything is this orange color. There are claxons going. There are no safety rails looking down over the pit because this is the grim darkness of the 41st millennium and OSHA doesn't exist. But you can see most of the people are trying to force the doors to both lifts open.
AJM.
Yes.
Remember when I was talking about minimum safe distance?
Yes.
I have a 2-meter radius.
So are you
where
just?
I will set people and anything flammable on fire.
Oh no, my pants.
So we just follow him as he makes way in the.
And that's
Sea of
basically
humanity.
the point for me is walking and either they're getting out of the way or they're getting on fire.
Well, after the first, oh no, after the first set of people who are trying, like, it is a press against the main lift, as the general consensus is further down is safer. There are some who have maintained some sort of awareness of what's going on, and they have made it towards that secondary lift. The smell of ozone fills the air as the first 3 people who tried to force the door were barbecued by some sort of electric charge that discharged, but it does not seem to be like people are now sort of like, and now they're actually trying to pull it. The first couple of people who get caught in your pyrokinetic conflagration start screaming, and that causes the rest of the crowd to pay attention to you, and they are backing away. You can hear people being crushed underfoot as people are now fleeing into the cell block to get away from this 12-foot diameter ring of immolation. But to Calliope, Malorky, Felix, Nigel, and Octavian, you now have a clear path. Which one are you headed to?
Up. Should we go up, guys?
Yeah, which one is up?
Which one has
Nigel-
the?
Nigel
Which
and
direction
Felix.
has the stuff?
Up.
Right, up. All right, so here's the thing. We've got
Use
about
the code.
the code's been changed, but about like sorry, now I'm doing Malorky. I need to find. This is just one of those nice. Hold on, I know how to get into character. Right, Felix. Right, Nigel. Right. So here's the thing. Bob Crumb, if you're watching, this is for you. Codes have been changed. We've got about 5 minutes before the security system resets. We can try and get in there, but do any of you have any skill with tech? Tech is a skill that will be on your character sheet, right above weapon skill, second skill from the bottom. Anybody got tech higher than 3?
Nope.
No.
But if we don't have tech, I figure Octavian and Mallorca can. Mallorca, I just called you a country. We'll just get on a door and.
All right, so I need athletics checks from both of you. As I assume, Ignatius, are you basically positioning yourself to keep the crowds away?
Yep.
Make it green.
All right. Calliope, what are you doing while, like, Malorky and Octavian get on either side of this lift and start pulling this thing open? Ignatius is like, back all of you. I am fire. The people are reacting like Frankenstein's monster to Ignatius. What are you doing? This is really, like, you've been in this human prison for like 15 years. Now there's some guy on fire. The guy who makes the pudding has joined you, and the really tall space marine is like, okay, I'll take you up to the surface. So what's going through your character's mind, Lee?
She is watching as the immolating one clears a path, and she's basically kind of like smelling the air, and she goes, I like this scent. We should take more of it. And she'll kind of smile.
Oh, well, that is a character choice. Reveling in the scent of burning flesh is your Eldar warlock. And Felix and Nigel are like, Felix and Nigel look at each other, and he's like, if you still want, no, she's scary now. Right. What did you get, Malorky, and what did you get, Octavian?
I only got one.
You got
Sorry.
one? Okay.
But I'm hoping he does well, and I don't have to burn my last round.
So I had 5 dice, and I got successes on all of them, and a 6 on that wrath die.
Okay, so here's the thing. You need a total of 4 successes to do this. So how many 6s do you... So if Mark gave 1, you got 2 6s. So you
And
have...
one of them's on the wrath die.
All right, so you have 3 other successes. So here's the thing. Another point of glory goes in the pool. You cannot never have more glory in the pool than the total number of people plus 2. Okay, so 6 points is the max. So use them, or they just stop accruing. So here's your choice. With the 2 6s, you can shift them for effect, get the door open quicker, get the elevator kind of cleared, so that only your group is heading up. Or you can shift one of those 6s into the glory pool so that everyone has an option to use a point of glory later. And then what's the benefit that the 2 of you want to come up with for, what's the boon for getting a 6th on the wrath die?
Oh no.
My idea is that you break the security system by accident, Malorky, and that it will not re-engage and electrify the floor of the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good one. I was gonna go with the door comes off in just the right way that Malorky can use it as like a weapon, but this works too. Because Malorky doesn't technically have stuff.
Not yet.
Not really.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, so the 2 of you rip the door open. As you look back, you can see 2 things. 1, a crowd of scared people, and 2, Calliope sniffing the air and seeming to... like when you walk into a good barbecue place? That smile that you get on your face, and that, I want to keep inhaling. That's the smile on her face, but it's because Ignatius has, immolated a couple of people. Right, everybody!
Malorky's saying,
So we put one in the glory pool, right? Shift one and put one in the glory.
Yep.
you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
What's
So
our
that's
glory at,
that.
Mark?
4. We have
4.
4 glory now.
All right, so you guys get in the pool. Felix and Angela are like, oh, yes. And they they type in a sequence of codes. Takes them 2 or 3 times, but the doors close and the numbers start decreasing. So right about floor 22, the doors open, and Felix and Nigel are like, all right, this is it. This is where the lockers are. We can go get stuff. Listen, standard protocol in the pit is if there is an attack, blast doors close, and the guards will ascend, and they're gonna hold the doors. They probably already put out the call. But if you can get us to the hangars, we can get a Valkyrie and get off this planet. Maybe not far, but then it's just a matter of a couple of fake distress calls. Surely a merchant, a rogue trader will be in the area, and we'll get picked up, and then it's smooth sailing for the rest of our short, miserable lives. But let's go get you some. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize he wasn't done. She was gonna react.
No, go
but
for
I
it.
wasn't-
No, go for it.
Oh.
I
She'll
assume
just-
that she doesn't have pick up on human social norms, so she's just like, that sentence seemed done.
Yeah, she'll get like real close to. Is that Nigel speaking?
That's Nigel.
Okay. Not to be confused with Hamper's Nigel.
That's right.
Unless you want to.
Oh god. She'll get like uncomfortably close to him and kind of like stare at his neck thingy, and she'll kind of like almost touch it, but not. And she'll go, "Won't your head explode though?"
Right. That's the. And he sort of does that thing where his upper body leans back as far as he can. Right. No. See, we ought to get to level 7, and then we can pop these things off. You see Felix's like blanches. He's like, I didn't mean pop off. I meant like we could remove the collars, not like our heads would.
You're making it more complicated.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, see, here's the thing. We are.
So you don't want to finish your time?
No, I don't want to finish my time. Listen, I was a lieutenant in the Imperial Guard. I got sent here, me and Felix. Felix there was what were you at the end? Oh, I don't know. I was a private 3 times. I was a sergeant 4. No, I was a private 6 times. Yeah, so listen, Felix is kind of
Talking an awful lot about privates.
That's right. Wait, no, that's not right. Listen, we were sent here because it was supposed to be just part of our rotation. And listen, like, it's... there was a little misunderstanding. Me and Felix would trade extra food for certain. Yeah, it was just a big misunderstanding, and that's why we're wearing these collars. Needless to say, we are as motivated on getting out of here as you are.
Who said I'm leaving?
Right.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm totally looking at getting out of here.
I've always wanted to
As we
see
walk towards
what's beyond the ceiling.
That's right. You've already seen far more. The doors open to this long hall of lockers.
This place is amazing.
What
It's
do you
a
say?
long.
I was
it's
just
a
going to
long-
ruminate on the difference between Astartes and humans.
Yeah.
That's one of my objectives.
Yeah, you used to. Well, you can have a wrath point there for that. Yeah, they're different than you. Like you
Yeah.
are from them, but you have some, and you were designed to protect them by the God Emperor.
That's why I want to get my stuff.
But you have become something different to protect what you were. It's this weird interaction. But Felix and Nigel, true to their words, take you to where your stuff has been logged and cataloged, and so you now have your gear that you got for with your starting equipment. So Lee, you have found your shuriken pistol and your witchblade. Ignatius, you have your stuff. You find your scout armor and your bolter gear. Did you not? You haven't picked any gear, did you, Rook?
I picked gear. The thing is that I didn't realize my backstory until today.
That's totally fine. You have gear. Like they,
So
Nigel's like,
in this
wait.
case, I think
We've got a bunch of orc stuff. We can get it for you.
I was actually going to say one of the things that is part of the character sheet of my particular orky boy here is that one of his objectives is customize a piece of war gear.
Okay.
So I would like to think that he just walks over, finds this random staff-like thing, takes a gun, slaps it on there, and just kind of tightens it up, and just basically makes a chop out of a shotgun on a stick.
Works for me.
Yeah, I figure there's
And
like human stuff,
Astarte
Astartes stuff,
and then
it's a
Xeno.
big pile.
Yeah, it's
of
just a big pile of Xeno stuff.
orc stuff that's just there.
Yeah.
Because it's all the same. Rusty choppas.
All right.
But yeah, then he'll grab. Where's my gear? Where is the gear?
You have a bolt pistol.
Yeah, he'll grab a
chainsaw.
shooter and a slugger.
All right, Ignatius and Calliope,
Yeah.
you again hear this. You again hear this call in your head. We will be landing in 15 minutes. The War Masters decreed that any who receive this message and any who wish to go with them will be welcomed into our grand crusade.
She doesn't say anything about it.
Spicy, you look like you've seen like the entire vat of tapioca pudding right in front of your face. What's the face about?
Is Ignatius still on fire?
No, he would have had to turn off getting in that elevator because I can't imagine it was that big.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So wait, so is Malorky commenting on both of their faces?
Mainly
Just
because of how Phantom there had Ignatius going, huh?
Oh,
It just kind of.
that's fair.
So Malorky's thinking, he's like, okay, the second time I'm saying that, I don't get it. Explain.
Oh,
Don't you know?
Oh, don't you know there? Okay, we'll keep going.
It's all that stuff.
Wait, listen, I get it.
No, there's someone up. There's someone calling to us. Gow.
Wait, someone's calling to you? Wait, that's... All right, so here's the thing. If we can get to level 7, we can see who's up there. That's where all the controls are. We can get these off, which right? I'm not saying it's really important to you, but kind of important to me and Nigel. So,
Why can't I take them off now?
because if you do, then my head comes off with it. They have anti-tampering, anti-big-handed people from ripping them apart, sorts of safety measures. The tech priests, you know how they are. They're like, Omnissiah. And they do their little things. They anointed it with sacred oil and invoked the machine spirits to make sure it couldn't be tampered with.
I am remiss in my duties. Thank you for reminding me. He sits down and pulls out some oils and starts doing a ritual over his weapons.
That's just... Can one of you get through to
So,
him?
level 7, you say?
Yeah, can you do this in the elevator? Huh?
Would you do it to go? Treat it like a jack in the box or whatever they've been talking about.
Very well.
Some newfangled thing.
Hey, Nigel, just, like, kneel down and, like, you can take apart your gun on Nigel's back. He's very good at planking. Again, the klaxon sound, and this time what comes over is code 37. Presence of warp intrusions detected. Full sterilization to commence in 25 minutes. Now,
All
again,
sterilization.
What does that mean, Nigel?
as Lee is new to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium,
It's wipe the place.
yeah, it's the nuke it from orbit. Essentially, the Imperium is willing to sacrifice billions
Everything?
to save trillions, is sort of their mentality.
And they probably wouldn't nuke it. They'd probably use bio weapons to just kill everybody, preserve the mine, and come back and start mining in a day or two once the bio weapons.
Exterminatus.
Yeah, actually, that's when you ask Nigel, he's like, that's really what's going to happen. It's an exterminatus event. We don't want to be here. In
Then
20...
we must repel the Xenos.
What,
No
No,
offense.
they didn't say Xenos. Look, these two Xenos are fine.
And I look, I said, no offense.
But Chaos is sort of a different...
I don't know what it ain't no
But
is, but it
he's-
sounds
Big
like
capitals.
you may have a condition.
Yeah. Like, listen, it's just a thing that the Astartes, they like to talk about a lot. They're like, this is heresy, that is heresy, friendship is magic, magic is heresy, burn the heretic, that sort of thing.
I
We
like
need to
burning.
Go right.
No, you just love barbecue. I think that's what that is.
I am hungry. We didn't eat.
It's okay.
What
He's
was-
been
what
carrying
was
the
Ogren's
vat
name?
the entire
I
time.
assume he's been
What was
carrying
Ogren?
that. What was
What
that?
was Ogren's name? They told us they want the Ogren, the big Ogren. They gave us the
Oh, he was
Rules.
just the veteran. Like,
veteran.
Yeah.
I thought he had a name.
Nope, the veteran. The veteran was. He
You
is
should have
sadly.
listened. They told us to eat everything when presented.
I brought everything.
Yeah. Unhooked, like in the center of the elevator, it starts to go up. That
Sets
smell
up the
of-
catering buffet. And
Yeah, the taffy orca pudding is pungent. Stings the nostrils, but you're guessing
for
the
the
secret.
eyesight.
Yeah, the secret ingredient is pure gasoline.
Promethean. Very well.
It's it's
So
Promethean.
little petrol helps clear the system.
All right. So as you ride up, you get to about level 9, and Octavian has been cleaning and anointing the different parts of his bolt pistol or bolter.
Bolt pistol and my chainsword.
Yeah, with the appropriate venerations and propitiations to the tech spirits that reside in the machines.
That's right.
So, for those of you who are new to the 40k universe, which is, I'm just going to keep reminding, Lee is our Han Solo. I firmly believe Han Solo is the point of view character of Star Wars, because you're like, what's a moisture farmer? Oh, but this guy's got a beat up car that he owes a bunch of money. I understand that. So Lee, technology, the golden age of mankind happened at the end of the 31st millennium. The God Emperor and his space marines were going out, reclaiming lost worlds. Everything was going great until the Horus Heresy happened, and half of the space marines fell to chaos. But the other thing to keep in mind is that the Imperium the symbol is the two-headed eagle. It's the Aquila. One head represents Earth, and the other head represents Mars. They don't know how technology works anymore. What they do know is that if you say the right rituals, you press the correct runes, some of which are O-N, and anoint the right spots with oil, then the machine works. And so it is very much... So as Mark pointed out, this is like our Fading Suns game with less hope, just completely no hope whatsoever. While he is doing his thing, what are the other three of you doing? Felix and Nigel are just sort of counting 21, 20, 19. Oh, floor 18 always takes forever. And it does. It takes like 4 minutes until it drops to floor 17. Or processing.
Oh, I'm getting used to the force staff again, because it's been a while since I've had it.
Careful, don't shake your staff so much. Go blind.
Lee, what are you doing?
She's gonna still be creepily up against Nigel, kind of like trying to like touch the thing.
Every so often, like, so Nigel has gone completely pale. Every so often, though, you look and Felix is like, and Nigel's like, when you get to floor 8, Calliope, you're right there. You can see there's this small ding that comes from his collar, and Nigel's collar goes from a green light to an orange light. And Felix is like, oh, that's not good.
What was that taking noise?
Yeah, it's Nigel, stay calm. You know about your blood pressure. And Nigel, who has been like face to face with Calliope, has now backed up against the wall. He's like, everybody get away! Get away! This thing it's armed! It's armed! It's armed on my head.
Malarkey opens the door.
It hits floor 7 and the doors,
I was going to, basically, since you said floor 8 was where this happened, that Malarkey was going to stop the elevator and open the door on floor 8, take Nigel and just...
No, Nigel! And he kind of hits the ground and skids with that, like, definitely leaving layers of skin behind. And the door closes, and it goes up, and Felix starts just banging on your back to essentially no effect.
Could you go a little lower?
Is Felix's
That's a small.
range color or just Nigel's?
Just Nigel's.
Okay.
Listen, you didn't need to leave him behind.
He told us to get away. It's an elevator. We don't exactly have a lot of room.
Here's the thing.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Nigel was the pilot. He's the one who could have got us out on the Valkyrie. I'm just the guy who can access the tech on floor 7.
Then I guess you should help us repel the warp invasion.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. The doors then open on floor 7, and they open up onto this this large balcony with several ramps that go down, and you can hear people yelling back and forth. Chaos incursion found on floor 4. Landers landing around the perimeter of the pit. What the hell is that in orbit? It's an entire battle fleet. Who's here? Who even knew we were here? And you can see they're all calling. There's about 10 people in here. They all are members of the Asta Militarum, sort of like the military arm of the Imperium. They're sort of the standing army. So these troops are stationed on planets They act as security. They act as law enforcement. Typically, they're stationed on planets where they were trained, but you know that's not the case for Nexum 8. That is going to be everybody here is imported. No one lives here. But you can see that there is a man in a long coat with a sort of a not like a flak helmet, but a helmet that Ignatius automatically recognizes because
Oh, hey, that's a commissar.
it's definitely a commissar who is looking over everyone. Now, here's how this works. Well, actually, we're just going to start there. He is calling down orders, and you can see he has a squad of 10 Militarum troopers around him. And these 10 people, they're wearing kind of standard Imperial Guard flak jackets of the Cadian style, but one of them definitely is standing there, and he's got a two-handed weapon that has a very angry-looking dragon's head on the end of it, and a small little pilot light sitting in front of it, and a cable that goes to a rather large tank of promethium on his back. Start the sanitation. Start with level 48 and start working up. We can end the incursion. We'll see who survived, but I'm not letting this facility fall. Not on my watch. What do you guys do?
Can my character... Can she do, like, mind stuff?
She can do mind stuff.
Like, mind manipulation?
Well, let's
or
take a look here.
anything?
What you have is you have intense emotions,
Yes.
psychosensitive,
Yes.
path
I don't
of
know
the
how to
mourner,
pronounce
runes of
Ronnie.
battle. So, Kirk, you helped me build this character for. Actually,
Yeah.
you built this character for her.
Has
So I'm looking at what she has. Do you want to jump in here real quick?
Yeah, so she has Embolden / Horrify.
There
She
we go.
can choose which one she wants to do. It's a DN5 to do, 25-meter range, and it causes a +1 difficulty for their resolve tests.
Do you want to try and horrify all of them? Create some sort of psychic illusion to spread
Yeah.
through these guys?
Yeah,
All right.
would that help slow down the sanitation election? Because that's the goal here.
Go for
Okay.
it. So you're gonna make a
Okay,
psychic
so-
mastery test.
Is that when I roll all 8?
That is when you roll all 8 dice.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Malarkey has a singular target.
Okay, so if
Commissar
I
or
only...
the flamer?
It's the flamer,
Yeah,
right up
that's
the
fair.
backpack.
Isn't that
Okay.
Ignatius' job? You call that fire?
Okay,
Only, that can only be one spicy.
Okay, so if it says favored by the warp, you may re-roll the perils of the warp. I don't need to do that, right? Or
Not just yet,
If you
no.
have, yeah, not if you don't have a 1 on your wrath
But, like,
die.
on wrath die. No, I just have a
Right.
4 on the wrath die.
That's
Then
fine.
you're
So
fine.
what's
There's no perils.
so remember 4s and 5s are 1 each, 6s are 2.
Okay, so I got
Remember
1,
the red
2,
first.
3, 4, 5,
For me.
6, and then the 4 on the wrath die. So is that 7?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So you only needed 5. How many 6s did you have total?
I have 2 6s.
2 6s. All right. So you can shift one of them over. Do you want to increase? You can add 1 to the glory pool, which is just sort of the simplest thing to do in the situation.
Aren't we already like maxed at the glory?
Nope. We only have 4 out
We
of
have 4,
6.
so you can put another one in there if you
Oh.
want, and then
Okay, I'll put another one in.
All right. So you
Prometheus
guys
is the
see
fan.
what does this mental image look like that you are projecting out into these people?
That little tiny black holes are starting to appear all over their skin. because there's a severe phobia of that.
You can see that the guardsmen start like slapping at their arms. This feeling of terror just sort of radiates out from Calliope, washes over the rest of you, and attacks the guard. So here's how we're to drop into actual combat now. So let me explain two things. One, here's how initiative works. One of you guys gets to go. Then one of my guys gets to go. We go back and forth until everyone has taken an action. You may seize the initiative, in which case, say Rook goes first, you can spend 1 point of glory to have another PC go. I can do the same thing with Ruin. I have a meta currency called Ruin. It starts at 4, 1 for each player, but you can't go more. One side can't go more than twice in a row. So one of you gets to go first. We're not going to count Lee's
Surprise attack.
surprise attack. So who would like to go first?
Well, not me in the spirit of fairness. Plus, I don't know what I would do next anyway.
I'm kind of conflicted because I'm not supposed to attack the Astra Minotaurum. I'd rather talk to them about doing their duty and protecting this planet.
Do you want to go last? And see what
Yeah,
happens?
you guys can. You
Kirk
can act
or
and
Rook, what do you
force
got?
my hand.
I mean, Phantom, do you want to start the fire that was always burning since the world's been turning?
That's right.
Oh yeah, I got a hot dish for them.
All right, then
Uh,
by all means.
so charging into the middle of them
Okay.
and lighting myself up.
All right. Roll to light yourself on fire. I assume you're using psychic abilities and not like.
Actually,
Yes.
Prometheus.
Using Prometheum. Okay.
Oh no, but if no, I think that guy with the flamer's about to catch it though. Oh, what's transcendent again?
If you go transcendent,
Just right to transcendent.
I would like to turn the dials immediately to 11. All right, so here's how this works. Power levels. So if you go transcendent, reckless psychers can open their minds fully to the warp, surrendering themselves and channeling the raw power despite the extreme risks. You can roll your psychic mastery test with bonus wrath dice equal to your tier, which is 2. So you get a total of 3 wrath dice. Any other psychic tests you make in the scene must be made at the transcendent level. And then whenever you make a transcendent psychic mastery test, you suffer shock equal to the number of wrath dice in your pool, which would be 3. So just remember, if they come up ones, there's a peril of the warp test. Okay.
Which can be just as glorious as setting myself on fire.
Come on, multiple ones. Summon greater demon, and that is how the events end.
And it was great playing.
It was good. Thanks for playing.
1/6 on a wrath
Okay.
and
Any ones?
6 icons and 2 1s on wrath die.
2 ones on the wrath dice. So let's finish this. Let's go through. Your psychic power goes off. How much damage does it do?
It is. Let me get back to it. Fiery form. It is 10 plus 1 extra die of damage.
All right. So here's the thing. These guys, to hit them, their defense is. Had to jump over to Perils of the Warp, and now I'm like, oh wait, no, go back. By the way, you can check out if you guys like Wrath and Glory, what you have seen. You can check out. You can get the books from Cubicle 7 or your friendly local game store. Litanies of Hate, I think, is the new book that just came out. It's a little adventure series for this. But the defense that you were looking for is 1. Crap.
Well, it's not even that. It's that I set myself on fire at the end of their turn.
Is when they'll take
They'll
damage?
take damage.
Okay. So they have a chance to get out of the way.
Yes. And since I have 2 icons left over from the Wrath die, we're going to... Well, nuke that. I'm going to spend a Wrath.
Okay. But I want you to roll on Perils of the War.
Oh, we're still going to be doing that.
Oh, okay,
because
sweet.
Those
The-
kind of have to stay
Can't
where they
negate
are.
ones.
Yep.
But I at least get 2 regular dice. Oh shoot. So that's effectively I have 3 exalted icons in total after paying for the
Do you want to shift it over to damage? Do you want to put anything in the glory pool?
I'm gonna use both of those, all 6 of them,
Okay.
to boost my defense by 1 per 3 icons.
Okay.
So effectively, while I'm on fire, I have a defense of 4.
Nice. All right.
And I'm immune to fire, and I'm immune to melting.
Nice. Well, that means the flame doesn't do anything to you. Now you're going to give me a D66 roll. So you're going to roll 2 6-sided dice. One is the 10s position, one is the 1s position, and then you will add 10 to it. Wait, you got
Yes.
2 1s?
Yes. Which I think actually boosts it by more than just 10.
No, it's for each additional one. The first one triggers a Perils of the War. The second one adds 10 to it. So what did you
Okay.
get?
Well, let's find out.
It's not a 40k game if there's no Perils of the War. Mark would agree.
51.
A 51. Life drain. Numbing cold washes out from you, leeching the very life essence of those nearby. Every living creature within 25 meters, which is this whole room, suffers
Die
3
3 shock.
shock. You all suffer 3 shock. All of the guards suffer 3 shock. What does this look like when it happens, Kirk?
He runs up into the middle of the guards, explodes into flame, sort of like the last time, but without the trace fires all around. And then there's this crazy shift of the flame that he has around his body to be a purplish, blue, green, tenebrous that shoots out far beyond his minimum safe distance. And everyone sort of feels that a piece of them sort of slide back off of them.
All right. All right. So it is now one of theirs turn, unless you guys want to spend a point of glory to seize the initiative and let one of you go
So,
next.
question on the shock. I know we can spend wrath to recover. Is that an action then to do
Nope,
that?
it's a free thing. You can spend a point of
Okay.
You can spend a point of wrath to recover 5.
So his flames haven't gone out and damaged anyone.
Not yet.
Okay. It's a group thing we're supposed to ask because I don't want to get corruption by taking it. Can I spend a glory point to go next?
Use it. Do it.
Okay. With bolter and chainsword, I stride into the room and
Okay.
admonish him for giving up too easily. Your job is to fight the warp and not surrender to the chaos. You have failed the God Emperor for the last time.
Oh, is he
Commissar.
attacking me?
No, I'm going after
The
the
commissar?
commissar who wants to give up this place and not fight.
Yeah?
Oh,
All right.
okay.
He's gave up his duty. That's
Go
right,
ahead.
I said duty.
Poor JD.
It's not my fault this time.
Love you, JD.
Yeah, make sure you get the
We
right.
do love
Seven.
you.
I know we've said it a couple times, but again, I will always take time aside to say thank you to JD, our producer, who is spectacular. The reason the shows run as smooth as they do, despite multiple technical systems that have to go together, despite the fact we have some local, some remote, JD makes it look easy. And hopefully, you guys appreciate her as much as we do.
So, we're ranked 2, right?
You are ranked
Okay,
too.
my Savage Echoes, I can reroll 2 failures.
All right.
In melee! I got another one. So, 2, 3, 4, 5
I mean,
successes.
you know, that's probably... his defense is 3.
Okay.
So you guys just see
So I roll...
Octavian stride in, power up his chainsword, which is essentially a chainsaw, and hit the commissar.
I roll 4, because this is plus 4 ED.
Yep. And then do you have
It's-
when you
it's
had
brutal.
when you had 6? Did you have any 6s left over?
It was... Oh, I needed 4?
You needed 3, and you rolled.
Yes,
5.
I had a 6, so
So
I
you can
roll...
shift that to an extra point of damage.
Okay.
So 5.
But I don't need to roll a warp die on this, though.
No.
So I will roll 5, because it's also brutal, so I forget what brutal does. Well, this is gonna hurt.
What's the base damage?
9.
Okay. And then icons.
Plus 3, so 12.
All right. And brutal.
We're rolling damage dice, add +1 to the result of each extra damage die.
So that means
Oh.
3s and higher are actually icons for you, and 5s become
14.
6s.
Oh, well, oh crap. So 6, 6. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 16.
All right. So here's the thing: he has a resilience of 10, which is the number you need that automatically gets subtracted, and he has 6 wounds. So to kill him outright, you would have to
Do 6?
roll 16 damage. So what does it look like, Octavian?
Oh, he's just split in half. It's a chainsword.
Okay.
Unfortunately, being a blood angel, I now have to
Roll the Black Thirst.
roll my red thirst to see
Red Thirst, Black
see if I
Thirst.
become frenzied at the sight of this blood.
Calliope, what you see is your the Space Marine who you have adopted brings this chainsword down, and it sends a stream of gore, like 12 meters straight out, arcing over the balcony and just spraying some poor technician who was sitting in front of a computer screen, who then just lets out a Wilhelm shriek.
Because they think all the little dots are on them.
Woo! So I think I passed with 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you don't,
successes.
you do not succumb. You do not go
Yeah,
frenzy.
so I don't succumb to it. I'm just not happy with his failure
To
to
communicate?
defend.
Oh,
to
okay,
defend
to
this outpost.
Well, Octavian, it is now their turn. They only have one group that can go, which is all of them, because they are a mob. And so, we're going to start with the guy with the flamer, because you just ran in there and, obliterated his buddy.
Was he considered part of the mob?
No, he was his own unique
Is
guy.
that I get a bonus against mobs.
There's something about Space Marines that are really good at taking out large
Defender of
groups
humanity.
of people. I'm going to spend a point of ruin. Awesome. Excellent, Mark. Get my point of ruin back. So, Mark, what is your defense, Octavian?
Where is it? Defense or resilience?
Your defense.
Defense is 3.
Defense is 3. So they hit you. They critically hit you with
Okay.
this flamer, and I will shift this extra 6 to damage because, again, sort of why not?
Does that ignore resilience?
No, I still have to overcome your resilience, but I get to do a sweet roll on the table here. So, Mark, what is your resilience?
10.
All right, so the base damage of the weapon is 10 plus 3 ED.
Okay.
It will not hit anyone in the blast radius. Oh no, it technically hits Ignatius, but he's immune to fire right now.
He's surrounded by cold flames.
Yes, Dinerborn, Defender of Humanity is a weird way to spell Mass Slayer.
Okay, they failed the Emperor.
All right, Mark. So the good news is you will take, and by good news I mean for me, not so much for you, you will take 4 wounds. You are now wounded, which means everything you do is increased by 1 target number, and I will let you roll the d6 to see what critical effect happens.
That's a 1, 2, so 12.
Oh no, Mark. A well-aimed shot tears ragged chunks of bone and brain from your skull. You reel from a violent strike, unable to focus. You suffer an additional 1 wound, and you are staggered. Now, as a GM, I could choose to spend some ruin to do extra points of damage. How many wounds do you have?
In total, 9.
All right. Well, what are you at right now? 4 wounds.
No, 5.
You've taken 5.
I'm taking 5. So I got
All right,
4 left.
You got. I'm gonna spend 2 points of ruin to add 2 more wounds to it. Okay. And staggered means, while staggered, your speed is reduced by half. You can't run or sprint. It lasts until the end of your next turn. And I will then. They're gonna each take last shots at the rest of you. So, mainly because your what's his face kind of strode in and just killed a bunch of people, or killed your commissar. Lasfire goes blazing across the room. What's your defense, Ignatius?
4.
That's a miss. That's a miss. And 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a hit. So, Ignatius, what is your resilience?
5.
All right, so you will take 2 wounds as the las gun comes blasting through and scores a line, burns a hole through your left shoulder. What's your defense, Malorky?
Oh. That hurt.
1?
1.
Okay, so that's...
Why? Is it?
There's no armor for orcs. It's a boy thing.
Boys.
All right, well, the good news is there's no
Baseball.
extra damage. What's your resilience?
Resilience is 5.
All right, so the way this works is the resilience is kind of your base toughness. If I don't do it, at least your resilience, you take a point of shock. Your resilience subtracts from the armor, or from the damage that you are taking. All right, so Malorky, you will take 2, 4, 6 wounds from the 3 last shots that hit you. And then, what is your defense? 2. All right. So there were 3, 6, 7. Yeah, I did my math right. So 1 will hit, 1 will miss, 1 will miss. All right. What's your resilience, Lee?
I'm looking for that. Not entirely sure where that's gonna be. Is that toughness?
No,
your
if you go to traits,
yeah, under traits,
look at
the
traits.
second one down. Yours is 7.
Oh, yep, I see it. It's a 7.
So Lee, you have runic armor. So you have armor that is basically psychically reinforced, made of wraith bone, which is, the bones of dead Eldar. Don't worry about it. But you take 1 point of shock. The human's las pistol hits you and just sort of diffuses. You're a little stunned, but not too bad. It is now Malorky and Kyope's turn.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Because
Oh wait, they
all
take.
of those guys need to actually take damage.
All right, what's the damage? I totally forgot that.
Wait, we have to take damage?
No.
Anyone within all the guard,
Oh.
or all the guard who are still alive. 10 plus 1 extra die.
For each of them.
Yep.
All right, roll your 10 extra dice and tell me what the totals. Tell me what each like.
Do you want me to roll once for all of them, or individually?
No, I'm just gonna let you know that me forgetting that has been a horrible thing because they have a resilience of 3 and 2 wounds, which means there is no way that your flames do not consume them.
That's good because I got 2 extra damage on the damage extra die. So that would have been 12. They are crispy critters.
You do have to roll it for our space marine.
Oh, that's true. That is true. That's a whopping 11. Wait, yes.
What's your resilience?
10.
So you will take 1 more wound. Octavian is not looking great. Neither, for that matter, is Ignatius. But that's it. That's the end of the combat because the GM forgot. And what does it look like, Ignatius, when this squad goes up in flames?
The Imperial Guard doesn't do stop, drop, and roll. It's usually something like hit the beach, stop the bullet, don't worry about moving, you're
Yeah.
bleeding out.
Yeah.
So this is sort of that everybody's a charcoal briquette, but they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Just for a bit.
Until they just...
Calliope, you scared them all, and then they all died, and that wonderful smell is back in the air. It's just everything's coming up you.
Orky's gonna walk over to where the commissar collapsed. Is his hat in still good condition?
His hat is 3/4 in good condition. He kind of got like
Good
the
enough.
end.
Good enough.
Don't worry, the blood makes it stick to your head.
The blood makes it better. It's red. Makes me faster.
Felix goes, well, that escalated quickly. And he walks over to the commissar's body and he picks up 2 identical boxes that have 2 identical buttons. Pretty sure one of these is mine. And one of these is Nigel's. But I'm not sure which one, and I'm not sure which button to press.
Orky's just gonna slap both of them so that they both hit both buttons are pressed.
So one releases and one.
Are you
He's
serious?
got big. Yeah.
Call it even or odd there, Rook.
Oh, one's the detonator and one's the safe.
Even.
Even? Alright. Nigel's head explodes. Or Felix and Nigel's head explode because I rolled double odds. There is a popping noise, and Calliope, you are standing right next to him, and there is this spray of gore, and Felix's body hits the ground and then falls back and starts to the pool starts to spread.
Whoops.
There is more screaming as the techs, like this has been 6 seconds, the techs are now aware of what is going on. What do you guys do?
Lorky points at the one that got sprayed with the first spray of gore that's been sitting there like, ah!
Yeah, he turned around and got hit with the second spray of gore. It is not his day.
Points at that one. You.
Yeah, what? What?
Make the stuff work so we can get out.
No, I can't open that. There's a bunch of...
If you don't open it,
Where's the Valkyrie?
I'll open you.
There's a Valkyrie on level 1, but I have to open the blast doors in order for you to fly it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
We take the
I thought we
fight
made
to
that
the
clear.
Xenos.
It's not. And he looks at Malorky, he looks at you, he looks at Calliope, who I assume is giving him that same soulless dead look that she has given everyone.
She's actually staring at Felix's body. she'll just kind of like distantly say,
I think I was beginning to like that one.
Sorry.
Malorky, give me an intimidation check.
Okay.
You get a bonus. I'm going to give you an extra die for this because of creepy Calliope and also her wave of terror, which I assume is
You know
a
what?
psychic
Because
power.
we've barely touched it as well, I'm going to use a glory.
Okay, you get an extra die to the pool.
Is there like a med kit or somewhere around?
Not that you see here, but there's probably one in the Valkyrie.
I do have pilot friends. If I live.
That is
Yeah, one left.
4 successes, 2 of them being 6s. So he's
that's
not firing.
Okay, so they just turn around and they're like, okay, just follow the yellow lights, take the elevator up. The Valkyrie is ready. As soon as you get to level 1, I'm sealing level 2. Wait, that's not good. And he looks over at another screen. You can clearly see that it is a map of the pit, and the lower 15 levels have been sterilized.
You need to stop that.
I can't. The only person who can is... And he points to the commissar's body. Okay, I'll try, I promise.
How is it activated?
It's activated, it's retinal.
Pick up the good part of his head with the one good eye.
Malarkey goes,
Please, allow me.
just kind of reaches in
All right.
and just kind of sets it on his forehead. It like is like,
Wait for it. Wait for it.
fully
Between,
intending to just ingrain this thing in his head.
you guys managed to shut the sterilization off.
Very good.
Listen. The tech looks right at you, Octavian. You don't know what's out there, but you're the only space marine in this place, so I expect you to do your duty to the Emperor and stand between me and whatever's out there. Your stunned silence is reassuring.
That's the whole purpose of the Valkyrie.
Oh, right then. Doors to the elevators open. Are you all...
As we
Power
leave, I
down.
gesture to the unused las rifles. You might want to arm yourself.
The technicians just scramble like ants whose eye have been kicked over. And elevator goes up. Hits level 1. As soon as the doors open, you know that this tech has opened the blast doors because you hear the howling of the wind and you can feel a little bit of that, of the abrasive atmosphere starting to kind of sting a little at your cheeks. And you can see the blast doors have been opened. There are 6 Valkyries. And you can see the still red glow from drop pods that kind of line the outside of the pit's blast doors.
Do we all fit in the Valkyrie?
Yeah, Valkyrie's huge. You'd all fit.
Okay.
You guys running for one?
Yeah.
All right. As you as you start,
Can I run yet?
yeah, yeah, you can run again. As you start running across the landing bay to the Valkyries, a group of 3 people, even larger than Octavian, step out from around the one of the sides of one of the Valkyries. They are wearing black armor with gold trim, and all of their aquilas are scarred, defaced, or replaced with the 8-sided arrow of chaos. There are 3 Chaos Space Marines who step out from around the Valkyrie, and behind them, someone even larger and paler that Calliope and Ignatius you recognize as the person who's been sending to you. And the Space Marines kind of lift their bolters, and the guy behind puts a hand on his shoulder. No, I know these 2. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the War Master Abaddon. This is my grand crusade, and I am looking for recruits. What say you? Care to join the winning side?
These are
Well,
Chaos
fair pitch, you
Marines. This is the big evil that the Imperium is fighting against. Just so you're clear.
So she'll still say,
What's your goal?
Oh, you know. Ripping the corpse emperor off of his golden throne, freeing all of the universe to indulge themselves in change, stasis, decadence, and violence.
Ooh. Well, you got me on the violence.
she'll point back at the prison and she'll say, or the mine.
Will you set all of them free?
My dear Eldari, this is a prison break and a recruitment drive. But of course.
She'll step happily forward.
Ignatius, what do you say?
Oh, wow. You're here.
I would say I'm sorry, dear friend, but of course I'd be lying.
What do you
Yeah,
say?
sorry.
Freed from the restraints that the Imperium puts on your power? Man, I'm in an alliterative mood tonight.
Oh, I've already gone free for that. Because if he can do Psyniscience, he can already feel
Mm-hmm.
that I've already just.
Yep. So are you?
Oh no, it sounds like a blast.
He turns to you, Octavian,
Oh, I'm already running.
towards the Valkyrie.
For Saguanes!
Oh god.
Alright, so as Octavian is charging, bolt pistol and chainsaw raised, Abaddon turns to the three of you and says, "Consider that your audition." And as you turn to face Octavian, we will fade to black and bring our Wrath and Glory one-shot to a close. I did get you down to one wound, so...
Yes, it wouldn't have gone.
So, that was Wrath and Glory. What did you guys think?
It's fun. What's really great, if you're not familiar with it, I'm playing a Space Marine, but I'm really not any tougher. I'm not OP compared to the rest of the group.
Yeah. What's
I can take
interesting...
damage, and I can do about the same as the Orc Boy or the Mentalist. Or
Yeah, what's interesting is the game is
that-
broken out over tiers, and they have rules for if you want to play a higher tier character at a lower tier, here's what you do. But if we went to tier 3, which is where Space Marines come in, all of you guys are tier 2. You would start with extra experience to bump you up to the new tier. So the idea is we can have Orcs and Chaos and Space Marine, well maybe not Chaos and Space Marines, but we can have Orcs and Eldrami and Eldar and Gangers and Space Marines all kind of in the same party. It's a fun game. Lee, this was your first experience kind of with this system and with this universe. Any thoughts or feedback here?
I mean, my thought is I would like, frankly, if I would like to get to understand like the die rolls a little bit more. They're a little complicated for, I think, somebody to jump right in, but at the same time having, people that are super helpful like you guys, it still makes it like enjoyable and also like really interesting because I don't know what any of my die rolls mean. So I'm sitting here going, I rolled a this one, I rolled a this one, and then you're just like, oh, that's okay, or so I don't know. It was interesting.
Well,
But I definitely think that the overarching like plot line is, it's very Fading Suns, but no hope, and
Right.
I think I like the darkness.
The actual genre of grimdark comes from that line. Like the genre takes its name from in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is only war.
Oh.
So we may have to do another one shot of this. Let me ask Rook, what did I know you were really excited about playing Malorki, but this was kind of was this your first 40k RPG or?
This was my first time playing 40k. It was also my first time playing Wrath and Glory, which I'll tell anybody that asks me. I'm a big fan of the Unexpectables. They play on Wednesday nights, but during October they have Orktober, and it's nothing but Wrath and Glory orcs on
awesome.
their game days. And it is amazing, and I've been excited to get the chance to play the system because once I learned the system, I was like, "That's neat! I love that."
It's really cool.
And also that Warhammer orcs are my favorite orcs based on the lore that I've been told. Just the whole, we believe hard enough, so it happens.
Yeah, so actually, like that's one of my. I never played orcs, but I did love that rule. Like they're all a little bit psychic, and when they get enough of them together, like in the actual miniature game, if you paint your vehicles red, instead of moving 6 inches, they move 7 because red things go faster. And that's what the orcs believe. Now,
I mean, there was a whole reason for me having certain colored dice on my selection. I had the 3 major colors.
Green is the best color. Red makes it go faster. Purple makes it sneakier.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Kirk, I realize that as I'm saying this, so Kirk is one of our patrons. He is also, so is Rook. He is also one of our moderators, and this whole one shot came together because we were talking 40k. Because you post a bunch of 40k miniature painting. I love 40k. We sort of bonded over this, and then we were like, we should do a Wrath and Glory one shot. What were your thoughts of it?
I backed this game when it came out from Ulysses, like ages ago. And this is actually the first time I've actually had a chance to play Wrath and Glory. And I love it to death. But so I think I ran a Dark Heresy game for like 5 years that was just starting from scratch all the way up to we pulled the Sensei card, if you know what that one is. So we basically ended up resurrecting the God Emperor.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, he was pissed.
just to make you a little jealous there, Kirk, at the local game store, I actually got to play a session of Wrath and Glory with Ross Watson running it.
It was awesome. Yeah, Ross does a great. So Ross plays in our Torx Day Night group, and he was one of the main developers and writers on the Ulysses version of Wrath and Glory, which is now sort of in a revised or second edition and under the Cubicle 7 thing. Publishing company. So if you enjoyed this, please go check out Cubicle 7. We don't get anything from them. We just love their games. I've loved Cubicle 7 ever since the One Ring, and I really love their Warhammer Fantasy. I think 4th edition is one of the best editions of Warhammer Fantasy. And Soulbound is also unique. If you want to play a fantasy game that's sort of same kind of mechanics here, there's a number of differences, but it's a D6 die pool system in sort of the Gonzo Age of Sigmar universe, because it is bonkers go nuts. Go check out Soulbound. If you like us and you like what we do, please check out the Iconic production channel. Hit subscribe or like. If you want to subscribe, that's awesome. Go check us out on YouTube. You can subscribe and follow us there. We also have a Patreon, the Iconic Production. We have a Redbubble store. John is wearing this shirt from the Redbubble store, and we can do things like this because of our patrons. So just shout out to all of our patrons who are watching. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And check out next Monday night when Becca will be back with more horror on the Orient Express. Go over to the Ulysses International channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can see Mark and I on Tuesdays in playing Torg, the Horseman campaign. You can see Lee and I on Thursdays for the Fading Suns game. We're off this week, but next week we will be back for Fading Suns. And then on Fridays on this channel, you can check out Josh's 5th edition game. It Gets Worse, with a couple of interesting one-shots that have been kind of scattered in here. The Kobold one-shot from Friday was unique. So until next time, this has been an iconic production. This has been Wrath and Glory. These are my heretics and my corpse of the follower of the corpse god. And I am JM the GM. I will see you all next time. Until next time, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. We will see you later.